Everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. This is part 2 of the Jeep Commander no front blower and flickering dash lights. We're going to repair this thing, and here's what the parts cannon from Rock Auto brought us today. First of all, blower motor, 4 seasons. Here it is. Sweet. Connector looks correct. So that's part 1. We have a blower resistor. Also the 4 Seasons brand. I had pretty good luck with them. Looks pretty much the same as the old one. The big resistor up here, and then the resistors on a board right there. So that's 2 things. Then Dorman to the rescue for the resistor connector. This thing comes with some crimp connectors. They look pretty beefy. We might just use those instead of solder and heat shrink. And yeah, looks good. I mean, we can try to plug it in to the new resistor, make sure everything works and fits correctly before installing it on the vehicle and getting a surprise. Wow, even clicks in. Amazing. Sweet. And also the customer okayed the replacement of the turn signal stock. Here's what it looks like. I got the Wells VE brand. Looks the same. It's got the fog lights and the dimmer. Everything there. So should be pretty plug and play. And last but not least, the customer requested that I fix up the busted ignition key. Here's what the key looks like. Missing a button, doesn't have a battery, it's just worn out. I mean, the ignition key itself is actually good, you know, it turns, but I got some blanks just to get the buttons and maybe the guts out of it. Again, we'll see what the path of least resistance is in terms of programming these, or just refurbish the old one if that's easier to do. Alright, first thing I did was just bolt the new blower motor into place and plugged it in. No resistor yet. I just want to test out the blower itself on high speed. It should work without the resistor. Measure the amperage. See what the amperage of a brand new blower motor is. So, and here we go. About 17 amps. I like it. Sweet. Awesome. So one part from the sniper rifle was correct. Now let's take care of this mess. I'm going to cut off these crappy wires and this blown burnt connector and crimp on the Dorman one. Plug in the new resistor. Alright, new resistor. Man, fits like a glove. That's always nice. Couple screws and away you go. So even though people might say, oh, these Jeeps, you know, always have problems, but if the parts are cheap and easy to replace, then it's really not that big of a deal if the vehicle does what you want it to do. So there's always a silver lining. Alright, time to deal with the connector. Let's chop these off one by one. One, 2, 3, and 4. Make sure to chop off the whole burnt part. And just strip these guys back. Yeah, that's a pretty fat gauge wire. Awesome. I know there are fancier wire strippers out there, but these work just fine, and I've used them for years actually. And one more. Nice. All right. We got those done. Let's take our new Dorman connector. Actually has a lot of wire. We don't need that much wire. We can just cut off a acceptable length. Snip, snip, and then do the same routine here. This is like Zen work. These are all the same gauge, surprisingly. Not like OEM, where 2 of the 4 were thicker. All right. Should be pretty straightforward to crimp these guys on. By the way, you want to make sure the wiring colors match. Blue, red, orange, and gray. Blue, red, orange, and toasty. So that should fit. So we'll crimp on the connectors onto this guy first, and just use the appropriate crimping device. Crimp this side and just pull on it. Make sure it doesn't come off. You want a good contact on each one of these wires. All right. Do the rest and go from there. Alrighty, connector's crimped on, ready to go. Plug and play. It should be good. Let's give it a whirl. Low speed. Let's measure the amperage just for kicks. Oh, come on. Must be able to see it on camera. Alright, 3.7 amps, low speed. Next speed, medium low, 5 amps. Medium high, almost 9. High speed, 16 amps. And off. Beautiful. Blower works. Let's install the turn signal switch. Make sure the dimmer works. And try to fix that key up. Alright, got the steering column covers off. Quick tip, if you don't have a Torx bit that's really long and skinny, I'm surprised I don't, that's all I have, it won't fit into those holes. For a T20, you can actually substitute a 3mm regular hex wrench. Got them out. Now, these are smaller ones, T15 or something, come out super easy. One from the top, one from the bottom. Alright. See, this guy should just slide out like that. Too easy. Now, looks exactly the same as this guy. I think that just slides right in. I'm going to make sure the pins are all aligned and should be good to go. Well, it's in. Let's give it a whirl. Lights, dimmer action. Dome lights work. And we're in the middle. You wiggle the stock. Nothing flickers. Let's try the turn signals, make sure those guys work. Right, left, flashy, flashy, high beam on, high beam off, automatic lights. Let's try fog lights. Yep, awesome, good deal. That's it. Fixed. Parts cannon. Ba-boom. Well, with the keys, unfortunately, we ran into a slight issue here. The Chinese knockoff is not exactly the same. You can see the battery, you know, on the old key, this little tin strip busted off, the negative for the battery, and one of the buttons is missing. This guy, the buttons are not the same, so we can't just transplant the buttons into this one here, and unfortunately that's not going to work. So we could try to, you know, forget this thing. I don't want to go cutting a new key, and the quality is really, feels really cheap. Probably snap my fingers. So I don't want to give a customer a really crappy key. We can either go online and try to find another one of a higher quality, or just try to fix this one the best we can. Alright, Russian repair time, bonus footage. Soldered on a little piece of staple, I guess. These things, they come in cardboard boxes, you know. Anyways, it kind of spring loads and keeps the battery in place. And then this thing goes into here, like it's supposed to. And when you press the buttons, it works. Even the trunk works. Sweet. I like it. So let's put it together, and then for the button, we're going to use some inner tube and tape. So here's the finished product. Just some clear tape over it. All the buttons work beautifully. That's just some inner tube wrapped around so it's flush. You can actually press the button through it. Trunk works. Everything works. So this is probably more reliable than, you know, getting one of these cheap keys. Even if you cut it and program it, I bet this will outlast it. And you know what? Since it's not a professional repair, just a Russian repair, I'm not even going to charge the guy for this. He's in the Marines. I respect that. So I'm gonna give him a freebie. Key now works. Get this Jeep and enjoy it. So there's the bonus footage, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.